There is a little place out there called the alphabet, and inside this alphabet live some letters. Now these letters are supposed to say certain things, but sometimes they don't. And that is because of their secrets. So listen closely so you can learn their secrets too.
Well, A and Y are such good friends. And you know, they kind of run this little town called the alphabet. And whenever they get together, they always say,
A.
When A and Y are not running the town being cool, E and Y get together and they try to run the town and be cool. And whenever they get to stand by each other in a word, they always say,
A.
And there is another culprit in our city of the alphabet, and that is the sneaky Y. And when he's at the end of a word and he thinks nobody's watching and nobody's looking, he says,
E or I.
And like every little small town, they are full of superheroes. And whenever our superheroes put their capes on, they get the power to say their own name.
A. E. I. O. U.
In this little town of the alphabet, Q and U are best buds, and they never go anywhere without each other, especially Q, because he is afraid of everything. So if you ever see Q in a word, U will always be right beside him. And they say,
Qua.
well, we have some reckless letters in our alphabet. And whenever UR, IR, or ER get together, they always take off in their sports cars. And they drive so fast. And pretty soon they have to slam on their brakes and they say, and just like all of us where we live, we have mommies, well, so do our superheroes. And their mommy is called Mommy E. And if she is at the end of a word, she is always going to make sure that that superhero says their own name.
Same.
Just like in the word same. Two letters within our alphabet town do not get along at all. And whenever O has to stand by W in a word, she always hits him and he says,
Ow!
well, O and U do not get along either inside this little town of the alphabet. And whenever O and U have to stand beside each other in a word, U will always punch O in the arm, and O says,
Ow!
and like every other little town in America, we always have those people that are in love. And whenever A and U get to stand by each other, they always look at each other and say, and not only is A in love with U, but she is also secretly in love with W. And whenever she gets to stand by W, they always look at each other and say, well, I don't know if everybody knows this or not, but A and R are best friends. And if they ever get to stand together in a word, well, A always lets R borrow her superhero cape. And that lets R say his own name. So if you ever see them together in a word, they're going to say,
R.
well, T and H are two letters within our alphabet community that do not like each other. And if they ever have to stand by each other in a word, They always look at each other and say, well, C and H are really good friends, and they live away from each other, so they don't hardly ever get together. But when they do get together, they always play trains. They love trains. So if you see C and H standing together in a word, they will be playing trains, and they will say, there are 2 letters within our little town of the alphabet that are never supposed to play together. And whenever they get to be by each other in a word, they always say,
We